This is my Arduino Drumpad project. The Drumpad was made with wood and rubber, which was screwed on top, and the wood was screwed together also. Over here is the box where I keep the Arduino circuit board, including all the wires that are necessary to make this whole thing work. Inside the box, you will find the Arduino circuit board and a breadboard. The breadboard connects all the piezo sensors to the Arduino, which have jumper wires that are all connected to the 6 analog inputs on the Arduino: A0, A1, A2, A3, A4, and A5. Another thing on the breadboard is a MIDI port. The MIDI port is connected with a MIDI to USB cable, which is right here. It's connected to the computer. This means that the Arduino will send a MIDI note to here, and the computer will translate it into another code, and then it will play a note. The MIDI cable also has lighting sensors, which will show me if it's sending a signal over here in the yellow input. A USB cable is connected to the Arduino, which is connected to the computer, which gives the Arduino the power to run. The software I am using to do all the music is Ableton Live. Ableton Live allows me to change the music that I need to do and switch notes if I have to, and measure the different notes. This is the box that I store the circuit board, the breadboard, and the MIDI port. Right here's the circuit board, right here's the breadboard, right here's the MIDI port. These wires are the piezo wires, which connect to the breadboard, and right next to there, that yellow wire is connected right next to the piezo wire. This means that the piezo wire and the yellow wire are connected, and which run all the way here to these 6 analog inputs, which allow the Arduino to read the piezo sensors. In between them are resistors over here, that little one with stripes on it. They resist the power, of course. And at the top is negative and positive of the breadboard. This allows us to connect a negative or positive wire, and they all connect to the circuit board too. And then on the side you can see the MIDI port. Some wires are soldered on top of it, which are connected to the transmit pin, the ground pin, and the 5V or 5 volts. Over here is the USB cable. It's connected to this port right here, and it runs along to the computer, and so does this wire. This is the underneath view of my Drumpad. As you can see inside, there are 6 metal sheets inside of these 6 sort of pods. I taped these piezo sensors, which are right here, that little disc, and they have wires that are running through here. I drilled a hole in between each wall here, so they can run through and into the wire box. This is the software that I use, Ableton Live. Here is how I mapped out all the notes that I need on the pad. All I had to do was change the pitch of the noise, and then just define it in my code, and then map it out what pad I wanted it on. For example, this pad, number 2, was right here. The pitch was C1. For my measuring and how I used it in the experimentation, I used the spectrum, which is a graph that measures the wavelength right here. I am able to find the frequency here on this graph, which this graph acts as an oscilloscope, and I can use this graph to test out all of my notes. Here's the code that was written from scratch using different codes as a reference. Here I am defining my notes as variables all over here, and the threshold value, and then over here is where the note playing starts. This is where I can define the notes
what pitch I want it with this number, and then I can just do this for all of the notes.